observing the 15th day of Sha'ban in fasting is sunnah, not because it's the 15th of Sha'ban, but because it's the 15th of the month. So the 13th, 14th, and 15th of every Islamic month should be observed in fasting to achieve that sunnah. And when it comes to this night in particular, there is nothing authentic about a particular practice, a particular prayer, a particular way of observing this night, okay, in terms of the worship.
It is an innovation, a bid'ah. Sheikh, I'm going to change the channel. Everything you're asked about, it's a bid'ah. Everything we ask you about, it's an innovation. Your iPad is a bid'ah. Wearing glasses is a bid'ah. My friend, you have to understand that bid'ah is related to religion. So when someone asks me, what's the ruling on birthdays? I wouldn't say it's a bid'ah because I'm not getting closer to Allah. It's not a form of worship. I would say it's haram because it's an imitation of the disbelievers' customs. But wearing a watch, using an iPad, drinking in a coffee mug, wearing glasses, driving a car, flying in an airplane, these are not religious practices of other religions, and it is not something innovated to get closer to Allah Azza wa Jal, and it's not part of their customs. So don't mix apples with oranges. When we come to the issue of celebrating the 15th of Sha'ban, okay, what is your intention of celebrating? He says, to get closer to Allah. I do salatu at-tasabih, I do a lot of dhikr, I do night prayer, I do this, I do that. Okay, hold your horses. Did the Prophet ever did such a thing? He says, no, we don't have any authentic reports. Had the companions done any similar things? Never. So are you innovating or not? Yeah, but this is a good bid'ah, subhanallah. Something the Prophet did not do, and the companions, may Allah be pleased with them, did not do. And Allah told us at the time of the Prophet, الْيَوْمَ أَكْمَلْتُ لَكُمْ دِينَكُمْ. Today I've completed your religion and perfected it. So you come and say, yeah, the Prophet didn't do it, but it's a good bid'ah. This is definitely unacceptable, none whatsoever. So celebrating Shabi Barat or Laylatul Mi'raj on the 27th of Rajab, which was a couple of weeks ago, all of these are innovations. Not because I don't want you to celebrate. Who cares, akhi? Celebrate if you wish, whatever you want. I am not going to lose anything from my pocket. But you're asking me about ruling according to the Quran and the Sunnah, and I'm presenting it to you.
We don't find any reference to the Laylatul Nisf min al-Sha'ban in the Quran in authentic manner. And some of the ulama took certain ayat that maybe he was referencing that, but if we look at the authentic narrations, those are about Laylatul Qadr. So in the Quran we find no reference. So what do? We go to the ahadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In the ahadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there are many ahadith that mention Laylatul Nisf min al-Sha'ban regarding the virtue of this night, and also regarding certain ibadat, certain worships in this night. Regarding those ahadith that mentions a particular worship in this night or fasting the next day, those are all fabrications. Those are extremely weak, matruk, rejected or fabricated ahadith. So none of those are established. And this is a hadith reported from Abu Musa al-Ashari, where he mentioned that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that verily Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the middle night of Sha'ban, He looks at His creation and He forgives all of them except a mushrik and a mushahin. Mushahin, somebody who harbors animosity against somebody else. Beautiful hadith, but we have to look at the chain of narrators. There are two clear weaknesses in this chain. First of them, Abdurrahman ibn Luhayya, he is a weak narrator. And secondly, Al-Walid ibn Muslim, he is a mudallis. So it's a weak narration. Every other narration about the middle of Sha'ban is also weak. Now, some of the scholars thought that those narrations put together do mention that it's a special night. And that's an acceptable opinion. But there is no particular worship associated with this night. No 100 rak'at, no visiting graves, no sending greetings, and no sending congratulations about this kind of thing. None of that is established from the ahadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So a Muslim should worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and make dua every night of the year and continue to do that and focus on special nights, but not get into any kind of bid'at by starting any new practices, because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us in the Sahih authentic hadith that kullu bid'atan dalala wa kullu dalatan fin nar, that every innovation is a bid'ah and every bid'ah leads to the fire.
As far as the middle of Sha'ban, all the ahadith which are narrated in this regard are weak. We do not do an act of worship on a certain occasion based on weak or fabricated ahadith. There's not a single sound hadith in this regard. So there is nothing special as far as special ibadah to be offered on the night of Sha'ban. It has a lot more to do with cultural traditions. There are certain cultures believe in certain days and nights. You cannot even change their mind with regards to it.
Many scholars, the majority of scholars, said that most, if not all, the ahadith about the virtues of that night are either weak or fabricated. They said that there's no sahih hadith about the virtue of the night of the 15th night of Sha'ban. Some scholars have made just one hadith hasan, and that is the hadith that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, narrated by Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, Allah looks down on the night of the 15th of Sha'ban and forgive all his creation except two people, the mushrik and the one who have enmity towards other Muslims. Some scholars said that this hadith is hasan. But we all know that Allah descends every single night in the last third of the night. That is every night, not only in the night of Sha'ban, in a way that befits His Majesty. And He asks, who wants to be forgiven so I can forgive him? There are no special qiyam on that night. That's for sure. There's no special fasting on that day. Some people single out the 15th of Sha'ban to fast. If you are from the people who fast 3 days of every month, the 3 white days, 13, 14, 15 of the Islamic month, Bismillah, and you fasted it, Allahu Akbar, there's nothing wrong with that. But to single out, I'm going to fast this because it is good to fast this month, this day, there's this kind of virtue, there's no authentic narration that says there's a special virtue for fasting the middle of Sha'ban.
And remember and understand that on this day and on this night of the 15th of Sha'ban, there is nothing extra in terms of worship. There's nothing special of worship. Or the fabricated ahadith, the weak ahadith that mention we need to fast this day, pray its night, all of this is not supposed to be done. These are all innovations. Except for a person who has a common routine of praying at night, then he continues to do so. Or someone who has a continuous routine of fasting 13, 14 and 15th of every month, then he can continue to do so and fast on the 15th. But to specialize this day for fasting and praying its night, then this is from the innovations. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam never did that. The companions after that never did that. And until now, nothing has reached us of news that the first of generations ever did such an act. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us upon the sunnah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to clear our hearts.
As far as fasting in the month of Sha'ban is concerned, it's mentioned, Hazrat Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, she says that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to never fast the full month, except the month of Ramadan. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam never fasted more than any month as compared to the month of Sha'ban. This shows that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam fasted the complete month, only the month of Ramadan. And after Ramadan, the maximum fasted was in the month of Sha'ban, maybe preparing for the blessed month to come.
Regarding Shab Barat or Shab Miraj, and this is mainly practiced in the Indian subcontinent, that on this day of Al-Isra wal Mi'raj, and many people they say that it is the 15th of Sha'ban, they do specific acts of worship. Many people they even fast on this day. And many they base it on certain da'if hadith of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him. But there is no authentic hadith of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, which specifically says that we should do some specific ibadah on this day. There is no authentic hadith of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, which prescribes us to fast or to do any dhikr or to offer some special salah on this day. Now I would like to mention an important qa'idah, an important ruling in Islam. As far as ibadat are concerned, acts of worship are concerned, to do any act of worship, we require proof for it. As far as muamalat are concerned, daily routines are concerned, that are not acts of ibadah, everything is permitted unless proven otherwise. Everything is permitted unless there is specific evidence which prohibits us from doing something. Now, as far as Shab-e Barat or Shab-e Miraj is concerned, there is no authentic hadith which proves that the Prophet, peace be upon him, or the Sahabas did any specific ibadah. And if we do any specific ibadah on this day, thinking that we will get special reward, whether it be fasting, whether it be offering special salah, then it would come in the category of bid'ah. And there are several ahadith of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, which stress upon staying away from bid'ah, that is innovation. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, he has said, "Man ahdatha fi amrina ma laysa min fahuwa rad," that whosoever innovates in my religion that is not part of the religion, he is not among us. And there are several other ahadith of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, which stress upon this. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, whenever he used to give the khutbah, that is the sermons, he used to stress upon staying away from bid'ah, staying away from innovations. And if it was good to do certain acts of worship on this day, the Prophet, peace be upon him, and the Sahabas, they would have done it. But they did not do any specific act of worship on this day.